BMS, welcome back to another First Page Friday. In this episode, I'm going to be highlighting some brand new books that we have in the library. Some of the books are from a large book order, and some of the books are from the book fair. Based on the purchases that you guys made at the book fair, I was able to get about 80 brand new books from the book fair for our library shelves. So I'm going to highlight 3 different books from 3 different genres just to show you a variety of some of the new stuff that will be available for you to check out. The first book that I'm going to highlight is actually a nonfiction book. I think this is the first nonfiction book that I have shared on a First Page Friday video this year. It is a book from the book fair. It is The Curse of the Mummy, Uncovering Tutankhamun's Tomb, and it gives you some of the backstory about King Tut, is how we usually refer to him, and the digging up of his tomb. So this is the first page. It was said the boy king's tomb was cursed. In an underground burial chamber, in the flickering shadows made by their oil lamps, high priests had carried out ancient, mysterious rituals. As specified by the Book of the Dead, they had summoned protective demons and placed charms on the tomb's walls. They had recited spells and prayers, and, said some, they had conjured up a terrible curse. Some claimed the curse had been carved above the tomb's entrance and read, "Death will slay with its wings whoever disturbs the peace of the pharaoh." Others argued that it had been inscribed on the lid of the stone sarcophagus. "Oh, anyone who enters this tomb, who will make evil against this tomb? May the crocodile be against him on water, and the snake against him on land." Still others insisted it had been etched into a magic brick and hidden beneath a chest containing the pharaoh's internal organs. But all agreed that the curse existed, and it had but one purpose: deadly protection. Who would be foolish enough to deny the curse? Who would be foolish enough to defy it? So if you're interested in that, in ancient Egypt and the pharaohs, then this book, The Curse of the Mummy, in the nonfiction section would be a good option for you. And I wanted to read this one because I like the way the beginning of it starts out. A lot of us think that nonfiction books have to be facts and boring, but they can also be written with a lot of description and creative detail to make it read more like a story. And that is the author's style in this particular book. So you may want to check out The Curse of the Mummy. The next book I'm going to talk about is another book fair book. It is called The Only Road. It is a realistic fiction book, which means that things in it absolutely could happen, but they didn't happen. And actually, on the back of this book, it says that it was inspired by a true incident. So it's based on a true story. The first page of The Only Road says, "From the kitchen came a piercing scream. The green-colored pencil slipped, streaking across the almost finished portrait of a lizard Jaime Rivera had been working on for the last half hour. As he jumped to his feet, a wave of dizziness hit him, left over from the fever that had kept him home from school that morning. It took a second for his vision to clear. His hand braced on the sill of the glassless window that no longer held the posing lizard. He took a deep breath before bursting into the kitchen. The wailing only grew louder. No, 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 please, no, he thought. It couldn't be. It couldn't. It had to be something else. Please. Kate. Jaime stopped short. Mama was slumped on the plastic table, crying into her arms. Papa stood behind her with a hand on her back. Despite his quiet stance, his broad shoulders were hunched, making him look as distraught as Mama. I don't want to read too much further because that was technically the first page, but the description on the back of this book tells you a little bit more, so I'm going to go to that. Jaime is sitting on his bed drawing when he hears a scream. So that's what I just read. Instantly, he knows. Miguel, his cousin and best friend, is dead. So this is a really serious story. It gives a little bit more background if you read further on the back, but if you want to find out more about how Miguel has died, if you want to find out more about how Jaime and his family are dealing with it, then The Only Road would be a good, serious, sad, realistic fiction option for you. And finally, our third option is a fantasy option, a much lighter story than The Only Road that I just talked about. This is a book called Stepsister. It is a retelling of the classic Cinderella story. So if you're interested in those fairy tales with a different ending or a different twist and more modern characters and details, this one might be a good option for you. So the very first page of Stepsister says, "This is a dark tale, a grim tale. It's a tale from another time, a time when wolves waited for girls in the forest, beasts paced the halls of cursed castles, and witches lurked in gingerbread houses with sugar-kissed roofs. That time is long gone, but the wolves are still here and twice as clever. The beasts remain, and death still hides in a dusting of white. It's grim for any girl who loses her way, grimmer still for a girl who loses herself. Know that it's dangerous to stray from the path, but it's far more dangerous not to." So if you like retellings of classic fairy tale stories, if you like fantasy books, then this book, Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly, might be a good option for you. These 3 books are just a small sample of what we have available on the new book display in the library. So come on down to the library and check it out. I think that we will be able to match you up with a book that you're really going to like. See you soon.